Hey gorgeous people, I hope you're having a great start to your Friday, and I am actually up in the most beautiful area. As you'll see, all this gorgeous bushland behind me, up in the Lake Macquarie area actually. So doing a little bit of a house hunting for a move up here later this year, which will be really exciting. So jumping in, I wanted to talk about happy shiny face syndrome. I think certainly, you know, I can put my hand up certainly with this. Hey Faith, lovely to have you on, honey. This can be something that really presents, and I think can be quite prolific throughout society as a general kind of speaking, because we're quite indoctrinated to be happy, to be positive, to be a great person, to be inspirational, to be all these things. And I certainly don't mean to sound sarcastic in any particular way, but I think we put, hey Ruth, lovely to have you on, honey. We put a really high pressure and expectation on ourselves, and in the process actually diminish our real self and diminish what we're actually really feeling. And it's kind of, you know, good morning Sandra, lovely to have you on, darling. I kind of liken it to, you know, driving along and the fuel tank is actually empty, and you just put this nice big happy shiny face on it and put a sticker over the top of the empty fuel tank. And I think so many people, including myself, and this is why I wanted to jump on and do this video, because I was experiencing it myself this morning, this pressure and this expectation to show up and to be this particular person. And it was just like, wow, it's just so freaking exhausting. And I think in the process of that, we're actually rejecting like an inner part of ourselves, or an inner process that we need to be aware of. And our emotions, our feelings, our body is all giving us guidance all the time. But when we put this like shiny, yes, everything's good, everything's fine, yeah, it's not a problem, when we put all of that on top, it really detracts and takes away from that real core authentic understanding of what's actually really going on for you at the time. And it was quite relevant for me. I literally drove 6, 7, probably 8 hours yesterday in the car. By the time I kind of finished the day, it was a huge day. I'd had a really big kind of event happen late during the night and the following morning, and like my body this morning was just going, man, I just got nothing left, and just feeling that exhaustion sometimes, and really allowing ourselves to really step into and actually consider what is actually going on for me, and what do I actually really need to heal my body right now. Or if not, we can't do it right now. I do understand, you know, sometimes life goes on, we need to show up, we need to get stuff done for the kids, we need to go to our jobs, all of those things. But long term, this is really, really so significantly damaging, and is a lot of what actually causes burnout for people when they continually do this to themselves. And what they're actually doing is actually missing the deeper message. It's kind of like I said, you know, putting the happy smiley face over the empty fuel tank on the car. Like clearly, like you're going to get to a point where you just cannot keep doing that. The car's going to stop eventually. You can ignore that message as long as you want, but you know, at the end of the day, the car is going to stop, and our bodies are no different. The body always keeps score, and how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis is really very relevant to how sustainable that we're being in the world. How much are we giving, how much output, and how much input is there. And when I say input, you know, a lot of us can have a huge significant challenge around actually allowing or giving ourselves to receive, because a lot of our self-worth has been, again, kind of you know, indoctrinated, or I guess, you know, we've all received those subliminal messages, you know, be a good person, be the giver, you know, your worth is tied into how much you can produce, or how much that you can give, how much that you can do every single day. And these are all like very subliminal messages. You may not have had somebody directly say that to you or anything else, but at the end of the day, you know, these are all things that are affecting our programming, affecting our unconscious choices when we choose to push through, when we choose to go, oh no, it's fine, oh no, I'm okay, oh no, it doesn't matter. And we really diminish our internal self, and often our inner child that has been made small or wrong for our feelings, or for any, you know, really wanting a particular thing to show up in a particular way, or all of those things as well. And so these are all kind of deeper messages that can be going on for the body. And when we don't stop, when we don't check in, again, you know, the car eventually is going to run out of fuel. And it's really, really scary when that happens, because it feels like, you know, you go to put your foot down on the accelerator and suddenly nothing happens. And you're not used to that, because in the past, when you've gone, no, it's time to go, gotta go, and you can put your foot down and you go. And that's, you know, eventually where burnout can take you to, is like, you're just like, holy shit, I actually can't get out of bed today. Or, you know, wow, I'm hating my life. I'm hating the world. I'm hating myself. And, you know, there can be a lot of self-loathing attached to burnout as well, simply because, you know, that exhaustion. And when we've heavily indoctrinated or heavily anchored in that our worth is equal to how much we produce every single day, it can take a real identity shift to actually let that go, and to still love ourselves and cherish ourselves regardless of how much we're producing, or regardless of how much that we're actually doing in a day. And so, you know, this is a really, really relevant topic, I think, for so many people. Like I said, you know, I noticed it come up in myself this morning, and really wanted to kind of speak into this, because it can be one of those things that if it's left unchecked, you know, does lead specifically to burnout, and lots of other stuff as well. Like, it's this lack of authenticity of actually really, you know, going, hang on a second, where am I actually really at, and what do I actually really need to do for myself today, or how do I need to take care of my body, or what boundaries do I need to put in place? You know, often when we've got the happy shiny face syndrome going on, we're like, oh yeah, no, it's fine, but underneath, seething in resentment, and that will never serve any of your relationships. You know, where we're overgiving, overcompensating, and often it's due to low self-worth or low self-esteem underneath all of that, because it's this ideal around who I need to be in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to be valued. And in fact, that is our two greatest struggles as a human being, is, you know, our lovability. Am I lovable? And what do I feel that I need to do in order to prove that? In truth, you don't need to do anything when we're living from our heart. When we're connected to our higher self, you're already whole, you're already complete, you're already wonderful, perfect, exactly the way that you are, and you'll continue to evolve and grow and have more learnings and have more understandings, and be clearer in your expression of who you are. And the ego is what creates the separation. The ego is what creates the duality. The ego is what creates the polarity and the comparison of, oh, but they're doing so much, or they're doing this, or look at what they've achieved, or look at how successful they are. And we can play that comparison game and get really caught up like in the ego fear, and then go, oh, well, I need to be this person, this is who I need to be. Or perhaps as a child you were sent messages that your emotions aren't okay. You were told to go to your room if you were being angry, or you were told to stop sooking if you were crying. Like, all of these things are ways that, you know, underneath. And of course, like, our parents are always doing the best that they can, and that they could at the time. It's all these subtle messages. And I'm certainly, you know, there's no criticism. I've done all the same things to my kids, you know, I very unconsciously at the time, and I would have parented very differently had I known what I know now, or even a quarter of it. And I do, in fact, parent very differently these days compared to how I used to. I used to go in and try and fix and try and make them happy, as opposed to, hey, what's going on for you? How are you feeling? What do you need? How can I support you in that? Because again, you know, my self-esteem, I'd attached my self-esteem to my kids being happy, or everybody else around me being happy. So it was like, I couldn't be happy until everybody else is happy around me. So again, you know, it produces this really exhausting paradox of, you know, or paradigm that we're living in, where continually, you know, like putting these happy smiley faces and then telling our kids that's who they need to be as well, instead of actually getting really real and listening to those deeper intuitive messages, because those deeper intuitive messages always have a gift of absolute gold and help to guide you to live your truest, most authentic, most abundant, most sustainable and vitally healthy life. And when we're missing that by putting the happy smiley face on and when ignoring the messages underneath and going, actually, you know what, I actually feel like shit, or I actually don't feel okay today, or actually, you know what, I'm so exhausted, I actually just need to take some time out and rest. And being able to communicate that really effectively. Most people aren't used to being able to communicate their needs effectively for fear that their needs weren't going to be met, or somebody was going to be angry at them if they actually truly asked for what they want. And, you know, again, that was something I had to really anchor into, particularly in intimate relationship, was being able to communicate effectively, because I was quite passive aggressive there for quite a while. And being able to be really truthful and honest first and foremost with myself is the greatest gift that I can give to anybody, because when I can do that and actually feel into and be really honest with myself, then there's no blame attached to, well, they're making me, or they need me, or I should, or I need to, or I have to, with any of that stuff as well. So I truly hope that that's served in some way, shape or form. It's really taking the pressure off and taking the shoulds off in needing to be this happy, bright, positive, uplifting, inspiring person all the time, and coming back to a true place of self-acceptance. And when you do that, there's actually a greater joy and a greater depth of happiness just in the residing of that and feeling into, yeah, it's so okay to just be me. And there is a true self-love attached to that, a true peacefulness, a true calm, where we're not trying to constantly be someone or feel something other than what we're actually really authentically feeling. And remember that your feelings aren't you. They're experienced by us, but when we attach, I am depressed, or I am sad, or I am angry, or I am happy, or I am, excited, or any of those other things, we're literally attaching that to our identity. And that can kind of screw things up a little too. So just remember that your feelings are something that passes through you, just like as if you were walking through fog or clouds. You know, it's an experience that you're experiencing at the time. I'm experiencing this daylight. I'm experiencing the warmth. I'm experiencing this feeling. You are not your feelings, and they don't dictate your lovability. Really, really important distinction there as well. And if this is an area that you're struggling in, you know, you feel like, oh, I constantly feel this pressure to be this particular way, or that I have to be this, or I'm not lovable, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not valuable on some level, please, I'll put a link below. This is exactly the key things that we work on in my Thrive program. It's a beautiful, amazing 8-week program. It shifts mindset, beliefs, identity around who you believe that you need to be, to bring you back more and more to your authentic self, to get really honestly truthful with what it is that you actually want to create for yourself and what your ideal and best life is. We also heal your physical body through functional testing and get really clear on all those things that perhaps are tripping you up, or that have blocked you or stopped you from feeling like a huge level of vitality, excitement, joy and passion for life again, and being able to have the energy to truly be put behind all the things that light your heart up and that make you feel really excited and joyful. And in truth, that's more about who we're being rather than anything that we're doing in the world. So have an amazing day, guys. Loads of love to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed my background today. It's just amazing. It's so gorgeous here. And have an amazing day. Loads of love. Bye.